Welcome back to the Iron Palace. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX every single Tuesday, coming right here to teach you how to build a palace out of your gains. Please make sure that if you get anything out of my videos at any point in time, you subscribe, you hit that button down there, and then you share the thing out, because I do all this just to help you. I'm doing these shows, I got 5 a week I'm running to give you more value, help you get where you want to be faster, and that's exactly what we do on the Iron Palace as well. Today, what we're going to talk about is exactly what you need to be doing with your off-season training. You competitors, this video is for you. You people out there with normal everyday lifestyle goals, this video is also for you, because you got to know what you're doing in each phase of your training. We're going to cover all that today and get right to it. So, let's get started. Alright, so for competitors and everyday normal people even, the sense is, if you're competing, you're doing a show, you're going about your whole training process, your prep, every part of getting ready for the stage and doing all that, you're following a very specific program to get there. What happens though is when the improvement season is what I call it, but most people say off season, I call it the improvement season. When that comes up, you don't have a specific plan. And this is why we see a lot of people, a lot of competitors, this happens to a lot of people that don't compete too, get way off track when they don't have a very specific goal, right? We see these competitors gain 20, 30, 40 pounds after being on stage in a very short amount of time, within just a few weeks sometimes. And it's just bad for your health, it's bad for your physique, it's going to be bad for pretty much everything. And same goes for any of you out there that are doing normal everyday workout programs. When you don't have a specific goal, you tend to fall off, right? So for the competitors, what you got to be doing, regardless of where you're at in your phase of training, if you're gonna do another show in a year, if you're gonna do another show in maybe 3 months, it doesn't matter. You gotta have a dedicated improvement season goal. Okay, so you need to know what you should be doing in the off season, in the improvement season, and realistically, a lot of that comes down to your actual judges' feedback. Okay, so if you've already competed, make sure that you go get the feedback. If you got a coach like me, Coach Rye, or any of my other coaches at TeamFFLEX, we get it for you. But a lot of people don't. So you will want to make sure you do get your feedback, and then you cater your off-season, your improvement season training to the actual feedback you got. And this is huge, because if you don't do this, it's likely you're not coming back better, or you're coming back in the way that the judges want to see you, and you're going to place better. In other words, a lot of coaches and a lot of competitors tend to think that they look at their own shots, they look at their own stuff, and they say, okay, I need to be leaner, okay, I need a little bit of this or that, okay, I need some more of that. And in reality, they have no idea actually what the judges wanted to see. You can make up stories and ideas in your mind, and insecurities will plague you all day with why you didn't place the way you wanted, or you didn't get the overall, whatever. But at the end of the day, the only way to know for sure and what you actually should improve and what you want to be coming back to stage with, that's going to be what the judges tell you. So definitely get your feedback. Make sure you get your feedback. Also, make sure you're doing high quality shows, okay? You don't want to be doing these there's a lot of random shows around the world, let's be honest. Some with very small, couple competitors show up, and then some with hundreds. You definitely want to get in front of the shows, in front of the judges that are going to be able to tell you good feedback versus just some, buddy that's doing a very small show and they do one a year or something like that. Their feedback will still be good, but it's not going to be as good as it could be, in other words, right? So like Sandy Williamson, she's head NPC, IFBB, bikini judge. She does a lot of shows. She's all around. If you get in front of her, she's the same judge that judges Olympia, right? And there's Steve Weinberger, does some shows, and he's also the judge at Olympia. Those are definitely good judges to be in front of if you want to go to the Olympia, right? The feedback they're going to give you, even at the amateur level, is going to be very good compared to, just some average Joe that's out there running one show a year that gets a couple competitors. So you definitely want to have the feedback, right? You definitely got to know what that is, and a lot of time it's going to be very simple. They don't go into a ton of depth because you don't need a ton of depth. If you see a physique, you're looking at a physique on stage and you're judged, you know what you judge, you know what you're looking for. It's very easy. They give you very simple feedback. That's what I get a lot of times when I ask Sandy Williamson all the time, literally, because a lot of my competitors do her shows. Hey, what's next? What do we need to improve? Where are we going? Where do we need to do? And she'll come back and say a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that, a little this here and there. And basically what I do as a coach then is I'm going to take that information and I'm going to build out the improvement season, the off-season training program to follow that feedback to improve those areas, so when this competitor gets back to stage, they're going to perform better. They're going to get a better placing. They're going to feel more confident. They're going to just be more advanced as a competitor overall. And this is a huge thing that a lot of coaches, a lot of clients, athletes, competitors miss out on, because basically they assume they need to live to their off season, their improvement season, not to mention if they don't fall off track altogether, okay? If they don't, usually they're going to go ahead and just say, okay, well, I think I need more glute ham tie. I think I need more shoulders. I think I need more back. And they go try to do that, and they bring that to stage, and in reality, they're still probably not going to score any better because they're not actually fitting the criteria what the judges want, right? And, you know, there's great coaches out there, there's people that know what they're doing, but just still want to hear it from the judging panel themselves because they see it from a whole different way. You know, how you look 2 feet under the stage looking up where the judges sit is far different than where your coach can watch from the back. I've sat right behind the judges many times at a lot of the events I sponsor, and it's definitely a whole different show. It's a whole different thing compared to what you'd see a couple seats back, or God forbid the back of the room. So, you know, basically you got to go with what the judges' feedback is. They're the ones that are going to place the clients. They're the ones that are going to place your competitors. They're the ones that place you. And if you want to do better, you want to continually advance, you want to get further along, basically what you got to do is make sure that, hey, you're listening to that feedback, regardless of what you think, honestly, in a lot of ways. Because I know that a lot of people get feedback, a lot of competitors over the years, I've given their feedback. I'll talk to one of the judges and give it to them and say, okay, here's what we're doing, athlete, we're going to be doing this to get to this show because this is what the judges saw, this is what they want to see. And they'll disagree a lot, and that's all right. You might disagree with the feedback. Sometimes I disagree with the feedback, but it's not about agreeing or disagreeing with the feedback. It's about doing what it takes to get you better placing, advance you in the sport, and do all that, right? And obviously, you want to have your own blend of what you're bringing to the stage, your own personality, the things that you like about your physique. But now, today, honestly, with so many different divisions, it's very hard that if you had a specific look in mind you wanted for your physique, that you can't find a spot in one division or another. You know, the division you might be competing in, if your feedback is always come back smaller, come back leaner, come back this and that, and you want to be bigger, you want to be a little bit thicker, you might just consider doing a different division, right? For bikini competitors, a lot of times they'll get feedback that they need to bring some muscle down because they're too muscular in their quads or their legs or something like that. Well, you know what? Wellness. Now, wellness is out. Might be a good place for you to go, right? So you got to look at all these different things. You got to look at the different divisions. But realistically, when it comes to an improvement season, off season, what you need to do is make sure that you've catered your training to whatever that feedback was, because that's the way that you're going to get better placings, advances a competitor, get, you know, the pro card, win the pro shows, move up to Olympia, so on and so forth. So if you expect to do well, you got to listen to what the judges say. The length of your improvement season, that's going to be different all the time. Really, it's going to be, you know, a variance of really what your feedback is. You know, everybody gets different feedback. Competitors are getting different feedback. Sometimes it's like, oh, you need to take, literally, I've seen some feedback before where it's saying, you know, you need to take some time off. You need to build some serious muscle. Come back in a year. Okay, that does happen. Stuff like that happens. Sometimes it's just like, hey, you're just a little bit off. You need to be a little bit leaner. Or you need to be a little less lean even, and you're going to come in and be better, you're going to do better, perform better. So realistically, the time that you're going to take in an improvement season will be totally individual to you. And what you need to do is really talk with your coach. What I do with my competitors, I say, okay, here's the feedback. We probably need about this much time in improvement season, and then we'll do this much time in a prep season. Obviously, it's my best guess estimate because we're not sure how your physique's going to respond. We're not sure how your body's going to respond. I mean, I can give you the best examples of what I think. I can give all my athletes, my clients, the best examples of what I think is going to happen. But it all comes down to the individual, right? And how well they execute the nutrition, how well they execute the training, and so on and so forth. What's going on in their life also matters a lot. If you got a lot of high stress, things are going to be different than if you have very low stress, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different variances that come into this stuff when we're really looking at it. But figuring out exactly where you want to be, exactly how you want to work it, and, you know, where this improvement season is going to take it into another competition season, and that total length is going to be different for everybody. And so that's important to know. You know, a lot of competitors get caught up looking at other competitors on Instagram saying, oh, she did 12 shows this year, well, I only did one, and, you know, whatever. Doesn't matter. What you need to do is make sure you know what's going to work best for your physique, what's going to get you where you want to be, and what's going to get you the best placing, right? And also your own individual competition goals strongly come in to your improvement season. If you're just a competitor that likes to show up and, try to place top 5, maybe you don't even care about placing, maybe you just love the sport, because those people do exist, it's likely you're not going to take your improvement season as seriously as someone trying to get an IFBB Pro card or someone trying to go to the Olympia, so on and so forth, right? So you got to know where you're doing, what you're doing, so on and so forth is the word of the day today, because this stuff goes on and on. I'm just trying to give you the surface layer, kind of give you the examples of what kind of an improvement off-season should look like. And so when you're doing this, when you're going about it, you got to know, okay, end game goal. You need to set an end game goal. You need to pick a show probably for even a year ahead. Even if you need a long improvement season, pick a show, know what's going on. A lot of times the schedule's not always built out and stuff, so it can be a little bit tricky to do, but pick a general time frame at least, so you have a goal, something to keep you motivated. Because what people always struggle with is the fact that they don't have a strong goal, and that's why they get off track. That's why you get so heavily off track, because you don't have anything pulling you forward anymore. Now you're trying to push yourself forward, right? And so what you really want to do is pull forward into these goals, pull forward towards things, set defined goals, set defined dates, set specific things you're trying to attain. If your feedback comes back that you need to build more glutes, you better be measuring that to some degree. You better be looking at that. You better be doing weekly check-ins and monitoring it. Of course, you're not going to see changes every week, right? You're going to see an up and down in a variance over time, but over time you want to be definitely paying attention to this to make sure that things are happening, right? And so that's what I'm doing with my athletes and my competitors. That's what our coaches at TeamFFLEX do. If you want help, go to TeamFFLEX.com, subscribe to our free trial. We can show you how to do this for free. I'll show you how to train for your goals, show you how to train for whatever you're trying to do right now. Me or one of my kick-ass coaches can get you set up, and it's totally free. There's no obligation. So if you're serious about competing, you're serious about doing an off-season, you're serious about getting your goals right, you would definitely do that. TeamFFLEX.com, check it out. Overall, what you got to take home from this video, no matter if you're a competitor or you're an everyday lifestyle client, you got to have a strong goal all the time, right? You got to make sure you know what you're doing. You got to make sure you know why you're doing it. And then you got to make sure it has a definite, defined date to attain it, okay? And these things might shift. Keep in mind, these things always might shift. You might say, okay, I want to shoot for a show in June next year, and you might need to move that to September. Things can come up. Life circumstances change. Maybe it didn't go the way that you wanted it to. Maybe you ended up, maybe you fell off the wagon. Things happen all the time, and so you could have broke your toe checking the mail or something, right? And it set you off for a few weeks. Happens all the time. So with that, you got to know, okay, there's got to be some flexibility. There's got to be some variability. That thing's going to come up because that's called life. But at the end of the day, having these goals in mind, having things to work towards, and having things to push towards is always going to help you get further than you would have if you didn't have them. In other words, there's that really old school kind of quote that's kind of cheesy. If you aim for the moon, at least you're going to land in the stars. It's true, because at the end of the day, you were aiming for the damn moon, so at the worst, you're going to land in the stars, right? And that's because you had a specific goal. You had a specific thing to attain, and so you're going to be far better off than you would, if you didn't have these goals. So set strong improvement off-season goals. Set strong program goals, period. Make sure your coach is on the same page with this. I can't say how important this is, that you have a coach that understands all your goals, understands what your goals are, and understands how to set these goals with you that are realistic in a time frame that will be realistic. You need somebody that's going to be honest with you, okay? A lot of coaches I know out there say a lot of wishy-washy stuff. They're kind of just saying generic, dodgy stuff. They're not really setting these specific stuff with you, and then when you don't do well, they're just telling you, hey, you know what, next time, whatever. The point is, you got to know these goals. You got to know why these things happen. You got to know why. If you didn't do the way you want to at the show, hopefully you got the feedback. Hopefully your coach got the feedback. Hopefully now you can see a clear example of, oh, that's okay, I understand that. Now you take that and you put it to work, right? If you're routinely just showing up at shows and not doing good, not getting the feedback, it's going to be another vicious cycle of that. You're only going to continue along the path of not doing how you want to do at these competitions. So realistically, the most important thing you can do is set these strong goals, and you got to have all the right info, and you got to have somebody in your corner to help guide you. Again, if you want help from me or one of my coaches for free, go to TeamFFLEX.com right now and subscribe to the trial, and we'll show you how to got to do it. I mean, there's no other simple way. If you're serious about your goals, you would definitely take advantage of it because it's world-class coaching. It's absolutely free. Thank you for watching the Iron Palace. I hope you got something out of this today. Share the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop me some comments. Let me know what you thought. Please give me a thumbs up here on the video too. I appreciate it. And let me know what you guys want to see. Give me more content. Give me more topics. You can drop a comment. Let me know, and we'll get it on the show. I appreciate all you watching. Thank you for watching. This is the Iron Palace. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. I'll be back tomorrow for first call-outs, and I'll be back every single Tuesday for the Iron Palace and 5 other shows a week. Thank you for watching. Coach Ryan is out.